All right, so welcome everyone. We are providing a Town of Edgewood update for the public, and welcome. And with me tonight is Commissioner Jerry Powers, Mayor Pro Tem. I'm Mayor Audrey Hadamio. So we have had a very, very busy month. It's been incredibly challenging but rewarding at the same time. This new commission walked into a mess, I would say, and there's been a lot of positive things happening, and there's also been some bad news. And so what do you want to talk about first?
Well, I thought it was going to be like walking onto a boat and just motoring away, changing course a little bit, correct, and get what people wanted. And it was more like jumping onto a boat that was burning and taking on water.
Yeah.
So we can talk about that a little bit. I think it's important that people understand the State of the Union when we got in.
Right.
So you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, chronologically is best, I think.
And then we can give them the good news
Sure.
after.
Yeah.
So one of the things that really surprised me is the amount that we had lost about 16 people. John Abrams did during his administration, and all of that happened between about September or October and the end of the year. And the employees told me that they were told that when we first got in that all the employees were going to be fired, heads were going to roll. So rather than people have to go look for a job with a lapse in employment, they all left. So we were down to about 3 or 4 people in town hall, period. So that's one of the problems we faced. What was the biggest one for you?
Really, the biggest problem for me walking in the fall was the lack of cooperation with myself and the incoming commission. So I would say that was very, very difficult. Something that should have taken 5 minutes, 15 minutes to accomplish, such as the swearing-in ceremony, it felt like a month. I mean, it was ridiculous, the pushback that we received for just trying to transition in the new commission, which a judge had ordered that Abrams and Hawley, cooperate with and implement. That was just, very, very difficult. So that was probably the most difficult thing for me.
So the good news there is in our first meeting, we got an enormous amount of people appointed and hired. In the first meeting on the 3rd, we appointed a town manager, a clerk. We filled up the planning and zoning committee, the parks and rec committee, which is really important to the town. They haven't had a parks and rec committee in almost 2 years. The previous administration really did not focus on what people wanted in the way of recreational opportunities and that sort of thing.
Really listening to the people is so key,
Yeah.
and having that customer service attitude, and we're here to serve the public. That's what we're here to do. And that tone at the top needs to just, filter all the way down. And I know this commission is, and administration too, is very, very committed to that. We also filled the Animal Control Advisory Board.
Yep.
And so with them, I received an email today that they're already looking into replacing some of the cages. That has been a much needed replacement for I don't know how long. I mean, it's just pitiful the way it's been. And so I know that there's action being taken on that already.
Yeah, we made a lot of movement. I want to thank everybody that's volunteered. We've had some tremendous support and excitement from people when they see the movement. We had 6 or 7 meetings in January. It was kind of exhausting, but we needed to do it. We needed to really accomplish. And you were very instrumental in getting a lot of those people on board. We've had volunteers coming forward on their own. It's just been a great experience to see that happen. I always knew there was a lot of very intelligent and talented people in Edgewood.
Absolutely.
And the last administration just kind of pushed them away. So we're open arms. If anybody wants to help, we have actual jobs opening up too, and postings for administrative help as well as other positions. But if you want to volunteer especially too, that please, we'll have our numbers on the screen here at the end of the podcast. But please, we welcome any support and any input that the public like to give. This is your town, this is your commission, and this needs to be about you.
We plan on creating an economic development committee, an audit and finance committee, and a construction and capital projects oversight committee. It seems like there's one more, but so we're definitely open to others' talents and what they can bring to the table, and maybe the areas that they're interested in and passionate about. They can get involved and serve and just kind of help the town move forward in a positive direction. So.
Yeah, the government works best when people are involved, when they're listened to, they speak up and they're listened to and heard. Mm-hmm. We've heard people want trails, they want water quality improvements, they want some outdoor recreational opportunities, and they want the basic services on time and delivered. So one of the other things that happened is we lost funding for Echo Ridge Park under the last administration because they neglected to renew the lease and do some of the necessary things. Mm-hmm. So we lost over $100,000. The good news is that we've got about $700,000 for various projects so far from the capital outlay program, and there's much more to come with this infrastructure money that'll be coming down the pike. So we've also kicked off the sewer plant construction or rehabilitation. We're really focused on trying to solve that problem, not just patch it up because it's very expensive. And that needs to happen to support the businesses here and keep them running. So we've already kicked that off. We're looking at completing the Edgewood 7 trail now, so that we can end up connecting that to Echo Ridge Park. I'd like to see an interconnected system of trails, multi-use, so that people who ride horses, mountain bikes, hiking, walking. Mm-hmm.
We really do need to focus on what I call the Edgewood Lifestyle, which is, making sure that we have the services here in the community that we want, the outdoor activities, youth programming, a variety of housing, all of those things are very important. And I think that with this commission, you're going to see things move in that direction, not just with words, but with action.
Customer service is very important to all the people on staff as well as the commission. Everybody's talked about it because the big distinction was it was a kind of a hostile environment to go into town. I experienced it myself when I would go there. And it's a disincentive to go there for a service or certainly to give input. That wasn't allowed. So.
Well, we couldn't even get in, right?
Right.
They're locked up most of the time.
So I'm excited about the near-term future. We're also doing some long-range planning. But I appreciate everybody's support. And if you want to volunteer for something, we'll put our numbers on the screen. We're going to do this as a continuing series because the last administration set such a low bar for transparency. It was just transparent as mud. So we're not only going to uphold the Open Meetings Act and everything we have to do, we're going to keep reaching out with these podcasts so you know what's happening in your government and why it's happening, and you can give us feedback as well about what we're telling you and what's happening in town.
Why don't you update the public on their taxpayer dollars?
Well, I think all of us by now know that the taxpayer dollars were diverted and misused for personal property of the mayor and his family, the former mayor. So now that that lawsuit has been picked up by the town of Edgewood, because it's Edgewood's money. So we are actively pursuing the mechanisms to get that money back for the town. Not just because it's the town's money, it's the right thing to do, but also as a deterrent so others will know that they can't get elected just for their own personal gain. This needs to be about service to the town and about the people who live here.
I think that message needs to be sent very strongly and very clearly, that anyone who has self-interest should not run for office in Edgewood, right? I mean, exactly. That is something we just, you really need to have the heart of a servant, and none of us are perfect, but using public funds for personal gain or for family gain is absolutely unacceptable. So.
Right.
But we have a great commission now, and I think everyone really does have that attitude of service and trying to move things forward and work hard. We've all had really long days and pulling together as a good team, and it's evident too in the meetings. You can just see the action items and things that are moving along, so it's very refreshing. So
of course you're welcome to come to the meetings. We encourage everybody to come to the town hall meetings if you want to. Not everybody can. You can also watch on Facebook, on our Facebook page, town, and then you can also catch these quick updates that will give you an idea. And we'll be doing this as a recurring series. See you next time, everyone.